I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails country's rise as a maritime power and trade hub, inaugurates an international vessel repairing center and dry dock. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken at Davos describes India as an extraordinary success story, says leaders of the two countries enjoy excellent relations. Pakistan expels Iran's ambassador, recalls its envoy from Tehran after a missile attack targeting militant bases in western Pakistan kills 2 children. And China reports a record low birth rate in 2023 as its population shrinks for the second year in a row. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 3 key infrastructure projects in the country's southern state of Kerala. It included a new dry dock, which is a flagship project reflecting India's engineering prowess.
In line with his vision of capacity building and self-sufficiency, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 3 major infrastructure projects worth more than $4 billion in the southern Indian state of Kerala. The inauguration included a new dry dock at Cochin Shipyard, an international ship repair facility of CSL, and an LPG import terminal of Indian Oil Corporation Limited.
नया ड्राई डॉक भारत का नेशनल प्राइड है। इसके बनने से यहां बड़े जहाज, बड़े वेसल तो आ ही सकते हैं, साथ ही यहां शिप बिल्डिंग और शिप रिपेयर का काम भी संभव होगा। इससे भारत की विदेशों पर निर्भरता कम होगी और जो पैसा हम विदेश भेजते थे वो देश में ही लगेगा। इसके साथ यहां शिप बिल्डिंग, शिप रिपेयर सेक्टर में नई स्किल्स पैदा होगी।
PM Modi also said that India is once again emerging as a major center of global trade, and India has started strengthening its maritime power. He has stressed that the Middle East-Europe economic corridor will strengthen the creation of a developed nation by giving a boost to the coastal economy of India.
पोर्ट, शिपिंग और इनलैंड वाटरवेज के सेक्टर में ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस बढ़ाने के लिए पिछले 10 वर्षों में केंद्र सरकार द्वारा अनेक रिफॉर्म्स किए गए हैं। इससे पोर्ट्स में अधिक इन्वेस्टमेंट आया है और ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट हुआ है। इंडियन सीफेयरर्स, उससे जुड़े जो नियम थे, उसमें किए गए रिफॉर्म्स की वजह से पिछले 10 साल में इंडियन सीफेयरर्स की संख्या में 140% की वृद्धि हुई है।
The new international ship repair facility has been built at a cost of $116 million. It is located on the premises of the Cochin Shipyard Limited. The dock is one of the largest marine infrastructures in the region. It enables India to handle strategic assets such as aircraft carriers and large commercial vehicles. The dock will reduce India's dependency on foreign nations and positions Kochi as a global hub for ship repairs. The Indian Oil's LPG import terminal in Kochi has been built at a cost of $149 million. It will ensure a steady supply of LPG for millions of households and businesses in the region. It will make energy accessible and affordable for all. The 3 projects give a boost to India's shipbuilding and repair capacities and the growth of energy infrastructure. They will also boost foreign trade, reduce logistics costs, drive economic growth, build self-reliance, and create domestic and international business opportunities. Bureau Report, DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also attended a Shakti Kendra in Charges Sammelan in Kochi. He said that despite opposing circumstances, generations of BJP workers have held the party flag high in Kerala.
बीजेपी आज पूरे देश के हर क्षेत्र, हर वर्ग की पार्टी है। बीजेपी ही एकमात्र पार्टी है जिसके पास तेज विकास का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड भी है और भविष्य का स्पष्ट विजन भी है। ये बीजेपी ही है जो गरीब कल्याण को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देते हुए काम कर रही है। हमने गरीबों को मुफ्त राशन देने वाली योजना शुरू की और अब इसे 5 साल के लिए आगे बढ़ाया है। हमने गरीबों को मुफ्त इलाज की सुविधा दी, गरीबों को पक्के घर दिए, मुफ्त गैस कनेक्शन दिया। ऐसी योजनाओं से गरीबों का जीवन आसान हुआ है।
India's Prime Minister Modi offered prayers at the Guruvayur temple in Kerala. He offered prayers at the sacred Triprayar Sri Ramaswamy temple. He also fed the fish at the temple. Prime Minister Modi also visited Guruvayur temple in Kerala Wednesday morning. On the temple premises, the Prime Minister witnessed a special and unique recitation of Ramayana in Malayalam. Moving on, the Indian Navy gave a glimpse of its preparations for Republic Day. Its contingent will be displaying the huge strides it has made towards indigenization as well as women empowerment. An Indian Navy tableau will display all indigenous equipment. The contingent will consist of an equal number of men and women naval Agniveers.
India is all set to celebrate the 75th Republic Day, and as far as the displays are concerned, this tableau is very special for the Republic Day because it shows women officers and sailors in all roles for the Indian Navy. And to talk about this, we also have women officers here who will be part of this particular tableau. Ma'am, can you tell us about how significant this tableau is as far as the girls are concerned who want to be part of the Indian Navy or the Indian Armed Forces? How is this going to in fact motivate them?
So our tableau is beautifully divided into 2 parts, and first part is showcasing women in the Indian Navy, all roles, all ranks. So this all roles, all rank basically states everything.
Right.
So Navy is one of the 3 forces, जिसमें अभी सब branches में we are having women, be it as officers or be it as a sailors.
So ma'am, can you tell us about these 4 roles?
So basically we have depicted just 4 roles. There are many others, many other roles, but we were not having that much space to depict it. So first it is showing a woman commanding officer, I would say, in the 8 Alpha. This is Naval Air Operations Officer who is keeping a sharp lookout. This is a naval pilot, and this is a woman Agniveer holding a rifle in her hand, guarding our seas.
Sir, I want to ask you a question about the other second aspect of this particular tableau, that is indigenization. And you both can join on this particular question, that how the Indian Navy, in fact, perhaps has become one of the forces that has been leading the way as far as indigenization is concerned, be it INS Vikrant or INS Imphal and other warships that we are inducting.
This is the first time we have achieved indigenous carrier battle group. As you know, the carrier battle group consists of 1 aircraft carrier, destroyers, frigates and submarines. So in this you can see INS Vikrant, which is in all the ships are indigenously built and indigenously designed also, most of them.
You can see the missiles that are we have shown, the firepower that we have shown to the aircraft, the fixed wing and the rotary wing helicopters that we have shown. All of them, everything on this tableau that you see is indigenously built, and that is the beauty of this tableau, and that is where Atmanirbhar Bharat stands today.
Absolutely, and by 2047, when India, in fact, completes a century of independence, we are aiming at complete indigenization as far as the armed forces are concerned, especially the Indian Navy has been leading the way as far as be it women empowerment or indigenization of the equipment that is used by the forces. With camera person Ajit Amakshay Dongre, DD India.
Israel's army released a video of Hamas tunnels under the Salah al-Din road in Gaza. On Wednesday, a shipment of medicines meant for hostages entered Gaza after France and Qatar mediated an agreement between Israel and Hamas. Meanwhile, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
The Israel-Hamas conflict is now in its day 103, but the battle still continues with no end in sight. On Tuesday, the Israeli army released a video of Hamas tunnels under Salah al-Din Road in Gaza. The commanding officer said that the tunnel shaft splits into the first and original Hamas route.
We are continuing our operation beyond the Wadi Gaza stream. We crossed the stream on infantry bridges with ground troops, combat engineering troops, and using an armored bridge to transfer our all-armored vehicles. As of now, we are deep in the Gaza Strip. We are locating terror tunnels, the first tunnels where everything started.
In recent development, loaded trucks entered Gaza through the Rafah border crossing on Wednesday after Qatar and France brokered a deal with Israel and terrorist group Hamas to deliver urgent medication to some 45 Israeli hostages held by the group in Gaza in return for humanitarian and medical aid for the most vulnerable civilians.
La France a décidé de ne pas se joindre à une coalition.
We are in process of taking action with Qatar. We have started to act to deliver medicines to Gaza Strip and will continue to do so with all the partners in the region who are helping us with this humanitarian action. We have greatly mobilized our military and our diplomats, and on which we are working with many associations and NGOs who have been absolutely outstanding on this.
At the World Economic Forum in Davos, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged to implement an immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
We see an epidemic of impunity around the world. We see some countries doing whatever it takes to further their own interests at all costs. From Russia's invasion of Ukraine to Sudan, more recently Gaza, parties to conflict are ignoring international law, trampling on the Geneva Conventions, and even violating the United Nations Charter. The world is standing by as civilians, mostly women and children, are killed, maimed, bombarded, forced from their homes, and denied access to humanitarian aid. I repeat my call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza and a process that leads to sustained peace for Israelis and Palestinians based on a two-state solution.
Israeli government spokesperson reacted on Iran's strike.
I'm not going to speculate on reports coming from beyond our borders. What I will say is that Iran continues to use its proxies to attack Israel on multiple fronts. We condemn Iran's activities, and we call on the international community to stand up in defiance of Iran and call for peace in the region as soon as possible.
The strike is likely to deepen worries about worsening instability across the Middle East, with Iran's allies also entering the fray from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. Bureau Report, DD, India.
The United States has said that it does not expect its strikes on Yemen's Houthi rebels to eliminate the threat posed by the group in the Red Sea. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said as much at the World Economic Forum in Davos on Tuesday. He said that the Houthi attacks go way beyond being a regional challenge, as it targets a vital artery of global commerce.
We mobilized a coalition of countries to take strikes to degrade the Houthis' capabilities so their ability to mount sustained and complex attacks becomes more difficult over time. But we did not say when we launched our attacks, they're going to end once and for all, the Houthis will be fully deterred. We anticipated the Houthis would continue to try to hold this critical artery at risk, and we continue to reserve the right to take further action, but this needs to be an all-hands-on-deck effort.
Hours after Iran launched airstrikes on targets in Pakistan's Balochistan province, Pakistan has recalled its ambassador from Iran. Pakistan's foreign ministry also announced that the Iranian ambassador to Pakistan, who is visiting Iran, will not be allowed to return. Pakistan also suspended all ongoing and planned high-level visits with Iran in the coming days. Still to come on DD India News Hour. An opinion poll in the UK says Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's party faces a 1997-style election wipeout. Trump and his Republican rivals kick off campaigning in the state of New Hampshire ahead of 23rd January vote. And North Korea's foreign minister calls on the president of Russia in Moscow.
We are taking up the legend of our great epic, the Ramayana, and how it has influenced so many parts of Asia and beyond.
In Indonesia, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Singapore, Malaysia, you can think of all these areas where Ramayana is like, that it's just a living thing. And their ballets and their dances and the music, they are all performing. It is just not itihasa alone, history alone, but it's a living being which has a place in every heart.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Let's now tell you what happened at the World Economic Forum in Davos today. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken described India as an extraordinary success story. He said leaders of the two countries enjoy excellent relations. There's a report by Sagnik Chakraborty.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has termed India as an extraordinary success story. Blinken hailed the policies and programs of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
We see the remarkable achievements that Prime Minister Modi has achieved, moved forward under his watch that have materially benefited and materially positively affected so many Indian lives. We also see a relationship between our countries that is in a new place, at a new level.
During an interview at the World Economic Forum Annual Meeting 2024 in Davos, Blinken also said US President Joe Biden and PM Modi enjoy excellent relations and their conversations cover all aspects, including US-India ties.
A constant, regular part of our conversation is the conversation about democracy, about rights, these fundamental concerns about democracy, about human rights. And we've done that. We do it in different ways, in different places. In some places, maybe it's more overt, maybe it's more vocal. In others, because of the nature of the relationship we may have with the country, with the government, it's part of a very sustained, very real conversation.
The Russia-Ukraine conflict also dominated the agenda at the World Economic Forum underway in Davos. Addressing media on the sidelines of the forum, Polish President Andrzej Duda said the country needs NATO's support to secure airspace and strengthen security.
I told the Secretary General that an incident with a Russian rocket entering Polish airspace shows a clear necessity to strengthen Poland's security. The presence of systems guarding our skies, our airspace. I remind you that we are in the process of building a 3-layered air defense and missile defense system in our country. But the system is under construction. Today we need support, and that's what we discussed.
On the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said it is very important for the 27-member bloc to unanimously approve the debated financial aid for war-torn Ukraine.
I think it's very important to engage with all 27 member states of the European Union to get the 50 billion euro for 4 years for Ukraine up and running. And this is the phase we're in right now. It's a preparation for the extraordinary European Council on the 1st of February. It's hard work. We have discussed many different issues. For me, it's very important, and my personal priority is to have an agreement by 27.
Davos also had some bilateral meetings where India's senior ministers discussed about many things. In fact, India's Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri met with the CEO of Varo Energy, Dev Sanyal, and Brian Sykes, Chairman, President and CEO of Kargil. Minister Puri also met with Marina Silva, the Environment Minister of Brazil, whom he knew since his tenure as India's ambassador to Brazil. He later held another meeting with Øyvind Eriksen, President and CEO of Akertech USA, inviting him to collaborate with Indian industries in oil and gas sector. Indian Minister for Women and Child Development Smriti Irani asserted that the New Delhi G20 summit ensured that the gender issue was discussed in the mainstream during a lively session on women leadership for global transformation at the luncheon meeting hosted on the margins of the World Economic Forum in Davos. With agency inputs, Shagnik Chakraborty, DD India.
And Stuart Smith joins us from Brussels for more on this developing story. Stuart, what were some of the key takeaways from US Secretary of State's address at Davos?
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke about all sorts of geopolitical issues because while this is the World Economic Forum, it's geopolitical risks that are making many of these top-tier economic and political leaders particularly concerned. He talked about the Iran nuclear deal, which he said Donald Trump in 2018, when he tore that deal up, had made a big mistake, said it was deeply unfortunate and feeds into the uncertainty in the Middle East and the Red Sea ongoing right now. Of Ukraine, he had a chance to speak to Ukraine's Foreign Minister, Dmitry Kuleba. They were suggesting that there is no war fatigue in Ukraine, that there will be a continuing amount of support to Ukraine, and that the initial objectives for Ukraine, such as removing Russia from the territory, are still something that they can attain. He did also talk to the UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron, notable because both the US and UK are at the forefront of the fight against the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen, those two navies taking on the land-based equipment that the Houthis have been using to target shipping. And so perhaps more detail to come on what these two nations see as the future in the Red Sea over the next few weeks. He also talked about the Israel-Gaza conflict specifically, saying that for him personally, the conflict is, quote, gut-wrenching. He's still emphasizing that there must be a pathway, after all of this, to a Palestinian state. And he said that Israel must help rather than hinder the Palestinian Authority, which is how he sees one route to the eventual creation of a state solution for Palestine.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Stuart Smith in Brussels, thank you for your inputs, appreciate it. Moving on, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is facing a tough challenge from his own party's lawmakers on the Rwanda asylum law issue. Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith resigned as deputy chairs of the ruling Conservative Party. Hours after their resignation, Sunak clarified and expressed the hope that the new legislation will override legal concerns and fulfill his party's pledge to stop people arriving across the channel in small boats. Syed Absarul Hassan gets you more in his report.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak faced rebellion from senior lawmakers in his Conservative Party on Tuesday over his stalled plan to send asylum seekers on a one-way trip to Rwanda. Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith resigned as deputy chairmen in the ruling Conservative Party. However, the government comfortably defeated the amendments in the House. In a joint letter, Anderson and Clark-Smith said, "Whilst our main wish is to strengthen the legislation, this means that in order to vote for amendments, we will therefore need to offer you our resignations." Hours after resignations of two deputy chairmen in Conservative Party, Sunak clarified and expressed hope that the new legislation will override legal concerns and fulfill his party pledge to stop people arriving across the channel in small boats.
It is important that we stop the boats because illegal migration is simply not fair, Mr. Speaker. It's not right that some people jump the queue, that they take away our resources to help those who are the most compassionate, that need our most help, and, by the way, Mr. Speaker, are exploited by gangs, and many of them lose their lives making these dangerous crossings.
Sunak's party is deeply divided over the correct formulation of the bill, which aims to block asylum seekers, bringing further court challenges against their deportations.
The current bill doesn't work.
And the test of whether it works is not can we get a few symbolic flights off in the months ahead with a small number of illegal migrants on them. The test is can we create the kind of sustainable deterrent that we set out to achieve.
The changes needed to eliminate the risk of refoulement may be delivered in the future, but they have not been shown to be in place now. The Home Secretary's appeal is therefore dismissed.
Ahead of an elections expected later this year in Britain, Sunak's Conservative Party is set for an electoral defeat on a par with its heavy loss to the Labour Party in 1997. Asked about the latest forecast of a heavy electoral defeat, Sunak said, "There have been lots of polls over the last year. There will be hundreds of more polls. The only one that matters is the one when the general election comes, and the choice of that election is clear. It's to stick with our plan that is working." Sunak is facing many challenges at home and abroad. Sharp rise in inflation and living cost force a ruling Conservative to take tough stand on economic front. Syed Afsarul Hassan reporting for DD India.
A day after Iowans gave him an overwhelming victory in the first vote of the 2024 presidential contest, former U.S. President Donald Trump campaigned in New Hampshire. While ending his White House bid, Republican Vivek Ramaswamy appeared alongside Trump in an evening rally in New Hampshire and gave the former president his full-throated support. Reacting to Ramaswamy's support, Trump said that Ramaswamy has a bright future.
With the people of the great state of New Hampshire, with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. As you know, last night we had a record-setting evening in Iowa. What a great place that is, too. The largest margin of victory in GOP history. Is that good? Is that good? And the previous record, as you know, was 12 points, so we beat it by more than 30 points, so that was really something. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up, Vivek.
Visiting North Korean Foreign Minister Cho Son-hui met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. The visit comes as the two countries have drawn closer since the beginning of Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. Meanwhile, South Korea has imposed sanctions on individuals and organizations from the north for their involvement and assistance in carrying out missile launches.
Russian President Vladimir Putin met the Russian and North Korean foreign minister after their meeting in Moscow. North Korea Foreign Minister Choi Sun-hui visit comes as two countries have drawn closer since the beginning of Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. In a meeting with her Russian counterpart, Choi Sun-hui said the ties with Russia were developing in line with the plans of two countries' leaders.
The fact that the foreign ministers meet now to strengthen their friendship once again proves that friendly relations between Russia and North Korea, which have a long history and traditions of friendship, move forward with energy in accordance with the plans of the leaders of the two countries.
While welcoming his counterpart from North Korea, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed Moscow's principal position supporting the inclusive and fair resolution of existing problems in Korean Peninsula.
It have to note, however, that the policy of the United States and its regional satellites of creating threats to the North Korean security is far from helping to move in the positive direction. We will continue to call for abandoning any steps that lead to an escalation of tensions.
Meanwhile, South Korea has sanctioned 2 individuals, 3 entities and 11 ships linked to North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. The sanctions announcements comes days after North Korea fired a new intermediate-range solid-fuel hypersonic missile, which South Korea and the United States strongly condemned as a serious violation of UN Security Council resolutions. North Korea and Russian relations progressed further in recent years, and Western countries, including US, has accused Pyongyang of assisting Moscow in Ukraine war. Syed Afzarul Hassan reporting for DD India.
The Bangladesh Bank has revised down the country's economic growth target to 6.5% from 7.5% for the fiscal year 2023-24. While unveiling its monetary policy statement, the bank's governor on Wednesday said in Dhaka that Bangladesh's economic outlook remains positive amid economic challenges. But the bank's growth target revision came after the International Monetary Fund revised down the growth forecast for Bangladesh to 6% from the previous projection of 6.5% for the fiscal year 23-24. China reported a record low birth rate in 2023 as its population shrank for the second year in a row. The trend marks the deepening of a demographic challenge said to have significant implications on the world's second largest economy. The National Bureau of Statistics reported a reduction of 2.08 million people, bringing the total population to 1.409 billion. Births in the country have been plummeting for decades as a result of the one-child policy implemented from 1980 to 2015 and its rapid urbanization during that period. Amidst these demographic challenges, youth unemployment reached record highs, white-collar wages fell, and a property sector crisis intensified in 2023. Concerns arise about China's economic growth potential with fewer workers and consumers, while rising costs of elderly care strain local governments. Still to come on DD India News Hour. A discussion on India as a global trade hub and maritime power. An Indian Army Chief, General Manoj Pandey, visits the INS Chilka, a training facility of the Indian Navy.
That never stops, where information shapes our reality. One app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Going back to the top story, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi hails the country's rise as a maritime power and trade hub, inaugurates an international vessel repairing centre and dry dock at Kochi in the southern state of Kerala. Mr. Madhu S. Nair joins us from Kochi. Mr. Nair is the chairperson and managing director of Cochin Shipyard Limited. Mr. Nair, welcome to DD India News Hour. May I begin by asking you to give our viewers an overview of the shipbuilding industry. Which countries are the leading players in the industry today, and how does India compare to the world?
See, the shipbuilding industry is a truly global industry, but it's very concentrated in 3 countries. It's China, Korea, and Japan. And together they occupy about 85% of the commercial shipbuilding market. The overall commercial shipbuilding market, it varies on an annual basis, but it's around 100 to 130 billion US dollars. And India does not have a great track record here. We are actually less than 1%. Overall, if you look at the Indian shipbuilding space, we are fairly good on our defense, that's the naval shipbuilding side, but on the commercial shipbuilding, we are not that good. But overall, the Indian shipbuilding, both defense and the commercial put together, we are about 20,000 crores. So global point of view, we are extremely low, a notch less than 1%, and miles to go with the rest of the world.
Also, Mr. Nair, can the new dry dock at Kochi be a game changer for maritime trade and shipping? Will it, for instance, reduce logistics costs, drive economic growth, build self-reliance, and last but not the least, create domestic and global business opportunities?
Cochin, what has been inaugurated today is the largest dry dock in South Asia. From an operational capability and capacity point of view, it's a mega modern dry dock, 310-meter long. So straight away, to explain the capabilities, on the defense side, it can handle large naval assets like the next generation aircraft carriers, almost twice the size of INS Vikrant, which has been commissioned into the Indian Navy recently. That's on the naval side. On the commercial side, this dock can handle practically all the large vessels, Cape-size vessels, Suezmax vessels, LNG ships can be docked in this shipyard, in this dock. Cochin Shipyard in Kerala already has 2 docks, one largely dedicated towards ship repair and the other ones towards shipbuilding. So this new dock is giving the country the depth and the capability to move into that larger league of vessels. So from that point of view, significant game changer opportunities on the shipbuilding front. Already Cochin Shipyard and various other shipyards in India, over the last few years, we are seeing strong traction, especially from Europe. I'm very confident that this inauguration of this large dry dock in Cochin is going to add yet another feather in the whole Indian ecosystem, because this is not just about Cochin Shipyard, this is about the capability of India as a shipbuilding nation and the positivity that comes along with it. This is one part. And today, another project also, it's not just the dry dock, we also inaugurated the largest ship repair ecosystem. It's a ship lift and 6 transfer workstations based ISRF, International Ship Repair Facility, at an investment of 970 crores, almost 1.4 kilometers of berth length, spread over 42 acres. So this is today India's largest ship repair ecosystem, capable to handle 84 ships per year. So from that point of view, truly Cochin as a city, as a maritime city, and India capability-wise, shipbuilding and ship repair today has taken a quantum jump. Ship repair, just from a country's perspective, when I say additional 84 ships per year, I can't back it up with exact data, but being in the industry for long, this is about a 25 to 30% straight jump in the capacity to repair ships in India. Many of our ships, our Indian ships, have been going abroad, so precious foreign exchange has been lost, days have been lost. These are all going to change, and critical dependency on certain foreign countries are also going to change. So I think it's a golden letter day for Indian shipbuilding and ship repair.
Indeed. Also, for the benefit of viewers, Mr. Nair joining us from around the world, I want you to talk a bit, if you will, about Cochin Shipyard Limited itself, its history and track record.
Cochin Shipyard Limited is a 50-year-old company. We just turned 50 years last year. And this is one of the most modern shipyards, well laid out, active in both shipbuilding and ship repair. And in each of these segments, active in the defense and the commercial space. On the shipbuilding side, we have led by far the largest ships that's been built in India, both on the commercial side, which are 93K tankers, and on the defense side, India's prestigious mighty INS Vikrant has been built by Cochin Shipyard Limited. Also, more than 50 ships have been exported into West Europe. So it's not every day that we hear about Indian engineered large projects being exported into West Europe and the United States, but Cochin Shipyard has exported more than 50 ships into countries like Norway, Germany, Netherlands, and the United States. This is on the shipbuilding side, and very active in what we are calling the green ships, the non-fossil fuel vessels because the world is undergoing a change and the maritime market is moving away from fossil fuels to alternate fuels like methanol, hydrogen vessels. And Cochin Shipyard currently is among the top league in the world as far as green vessels are concerned. We have exported electric vessels to Norway. We are currently contracted to build probably the world's first hydrogen fuel feeder container vessels for a Norwegian client. We are building methanol-powered wind support vessels. And back home for the Cochin Water Metro, and for now in the rivers of India, rolling out in Ayodhya, Varanasi, Mathura, and Guwahati, electric ferries for the Indian waters. So we are all over the space on the shipbuilding side. Ship repair, we are by far the largest in India. Market share would be about 40 to 45%. And with the new ship repair facility that's been inaugurated today by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, this goes up significantly. We are a public listed company on the both BSE and the NSE. 72% is still held by the President of India, but 28% with the public, listed in 2017. Strong on track record, good on financials, technologically sound company. So this is about Cochin Shipyard Limited.
All right, on that note, Mr. Nair, may I thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts and insights with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right, moving on, at the India International Science Festival being organized in New Delhi, young scientists from IIT Madras displayed a prototype of a Hyperloop that they have been working on. The project is being funded by the Indian Railways. DD India's Debyendu Mondal spoke to Harry, a young scientist working on this project. Take a listen.
At the India International Science Festival in Faridabad, I'm joined by a young student, Harry, who has developed a prototype of, you must have heard about Elon Musk's Hyperloop. So we are hoping to get something like this in India's own indigenously built Hyperloop. Harry, can you explain us about what this is and for the benefit of our viewers, what this is and at what stage of development this is?
So this is we are a company called Tutor Hyperloop. So we are incubated out of IIT Madras incubation cell, and this is a still model of a Hyperloop prototype. So this you can see is a vacuum tube. So what happens is, like, we will have vehicles which runs inside vacuum tube with magnetic levitation. So there won't be any opposing force that is created for the vehicle. So what happens is it will propel like a bullet. So once you propel it, it will go on forever. So since there is no force that is opposing it, it can go to speeds up to 700-800 km/h. As of now, we are building a 400-meter long test facility at IIT Madras and also a subscale vehicle for testing in it, which we are expecting to complete around April this year.
Well, of course, I'm also being told that this project is being funded by the Indian Railways, that is also helping you guys to develop such prototypes. And can you give us more insight as to, where, at what stage of, or perhaps by when can we see a full-scale model being presented at the IIT Madras?
Yes, so as of now, the Indian Railways has given us some grant to build a 400-meter long tube. So we have almost built 200 meter out of it. So still 200 meter is left. So we are expecting to complete by next month. So, and we will do testing of we are also building a pod which is around 1 ton weight. So we will test it in the tube for some time. And for a full scale operation, initially we are thinking to go into cargo. So then we will go into passengers, as there are safety concerns and everything has to be proven for this new, as it's a new technology. So you can expect some cargo, maybe from a port to some kind of terminal. So we can expect around 2028 to 2030.
That's a wonderful thing, Harry. And as you can see, this is also being known as the 5th mode of transport in the world, and this could perhaps be a game changer if this becomes a reality. And Hyperloop is something that the world is looking at. With camera person Vinay, this is Debyendu Mondal from Faridabad for DD India.
India's Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated the state-of-the-art Central Registrar of Cooperative Societies office today. Equipped with cutting-edge amenities, the newly constructed facility aims to bolster the office's capabilities, positioning it as the nucleus for cooperative reforms. The establishment stands as a significant milestone in realizing the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of a self-reliant India, guided by the principle of prosperity through cooperation. The National Highways Authority of India will soon amend the model concession agreement for Build, Operate, Transfer model to attract investments as it aims to bid out 53 highway projects worth more than $26.4 billion, covering a length of 5,200 kilometers. The proposed modifications include modifications in concession period based on actual traffic versus tolling groups of vehicles, revisiting of actual traffic exceeding design capacity, and compensation for delays on the part of the authority.
और इसलिए आप थोड़ा लिबरल अप्रोच में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को, रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को फाइनेंस करो, तो मुझे लगता है कि निश्चित रूप से हम देश की ग्रोथ में भी कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे, इकोनॉमी को भी अच्छा बनाएंगे, एम्प्लॉयमेंट पोटेंशियल भी बढ़ाएंगे और लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट को भी कम करेंगे.
Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey visited the INS Shilka, a training facility of the Indian Navy. During his visit, he observed training amenities and initiatives aimed at the Agniveer training program. And still to come on DD India News Hour. The latest on the build-up to the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple at India's holy city of Ayodhya on 22nd January. An Indian teenager, Pragyananda, beats reigning world chess champion Ding Liren, becomes India's top-ranked player.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. And now we get you all the buzz being generated in the build-up to the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple at India's holy city of Ayodhya on 22nd of January. Ayodhya is gearing up for the big day. The local economy has witnessed a sharp rise as devotees and tourists pour into this temple town. DD India Siddharth Bharadwaj reports.
In the heart of Ayodhya, where spirituality meets commerce, the landscape is evolving. The city has witnessed a sharp rise in the overall economy, and the surge in tourism has not only graced the city with newfound cultural significance, but also has witnessed a sharp rise in business activities.
In a profound intersection of spirituality and economic resurgence, Ayodhya stands as a testament to transformation. The soon-to-be-held consecration of the Ram Temple has not only elevated the city's cultural significance, but has triggered a sharp uptick in business activities. Ayodhya is experiencing a profound economic upswing. The pilgrimage to this holy site has transformed into a pilgrimage for prosperity, as businesses across the city witness a notable surge in activities. From bustling hospitality ventures to vibrant retail markets, Ayodhya is undergoing a metamorphosis driven by the influx of devotees and tourists.
The opening of Ram Temple, once it gets going, actually it is going to contribute a lot towards the growth of this place, both economically, socially and everything. As you can see, with the opening of airport and the revamp of the railway station, the bus stands, everything, a lot of influx is going to come into the place, and naturally when tourists come in, it will boost towards the economy. Lot of business is going to come.
Ayodhya becoming the hub of pilgrimage now. Everyone wants to visit. It is not just from India, but across the world we will have religious tourism increase exponentially, and this huge increase will definitely have to be backed up by better economic resources in the city.
At the heart of this economic renaissance are Ayodhya's local vendors. Traditional crafts and offerings are finding a burgeoning market, turning the city's marketplaces into vibrant hubs of activity. Ayodhya isn't just witnessing a spiritual revival, it's becoming an economic hub. The echoes of prosperity are interwoven with the sacred chants, shaping a future where the city's destiny is defined by the harmonious blend of faith and commerce.
As Ayodhya gears up for the big day, the consecration ceremony on January 22nd, it's not just the spiritual vibrations that resonate, it's the hum of a booming economy. With camera person Piyush Vardhan Verma, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Ayodhya.
In a unique blend of technology and art, a Hyderabad-based Sudha Car Museum has crafted a mobile masterpiece, a model of the Ram Temple at Ayodhya mounted on a car. Kanya Boina Sudhakar, the owner of the Sudha Car Museum, has crafted the car so that locals can catch a glimpse of this iconic temple. The main idea behind designing this mobile car is that everyone cannot go to Ayodhya, so with this mobile car, people can get a glimpse of the temple. Nagabhushan Reddy, a man from the southern Indian city of Hyderabad, has made a 1,265-kilogram laddu, an Indian sweet, for the Ram Temple to be sent as an offering there. The laddu is on its way to the temple city from Hyderabad today. The Indian sweet is being carried in a refrigerated glass box. A quarry in Gujjegaudanapura village at Mysuru in southern India, from where black stone was excavated for making Lord Ram's sculpture, is flooded with people who are offering prayers at the location. Devotees say that they feel divinity at the spot where Lord Ram's sculpture was sculpted by Arun Yogi Raj. Women dressed in traditional Indian attire reached the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Ahead of the consecration ceremony on 22nd January, women offered prayers at the temple. The women appeared to be immersed in prayers and were seen dancing to devotional songs on Lord Ram. And people of all ages and all walks of life are excited for the consecration ceremony in Ayodhya. A student from Basti district in India's Uttar Pradesh state displayed her paintings of Lord Ram at the banks of the Saryu River in the temple city of Ayodhya. And ahead of the consecration ceremony, students formed a human chain for Lord Ram. The students were from Maharana Pratap High School, situated in the western Indian state of Gujarat's Disa district. The students moved in a circular motion and created a halo-like effect around the formation of the words Lord Ram. The 7th edition of the India International Ramayana Mela 2024 is being held in India's capital, New Delhi. The festival is being held from 18th to 23rd January at the Old Fort. The Indian Council for Cultural Relations is celebrating 2024 as a year of connecting the world through Ramayana. The festival promises to showcase diverse and spectacular cultural expressions of Ramayana traditions observed globally. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for a cleanliness campaign in various temples and pilgrimage sites of the country from 14th to 22nd January. DD India's Ajay Mishra took stock of the situation in Vrindavan, Mathura.
After PM Modi's clarion call for Swacch Bharat Abhiyaan, which is India's cleanliness drive, cleaning of temples and pilgrimage sites has gained momentum. The cleanliness in Garun Gobind Temple, one of the oldest temples of Sri Vrindavan Dham, established by Sri Vajranabha, the great-grandson of Lord Sri Krishna, has caught attention.
तकरीबन 4 लोग हैं हम जो कि सुबह 4 बजे झाड़ू लगाते हैं। उसके बाद जितना भी कचरा शाम को रहता है वो सब एक बड़ी-बड़ी डस्टबिन रख रखी है हमने। मोदी जी के आग्रह पे ही ये सफाई का कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। अभी बराबर में जो आप देख रहे हैं गोविंद कुंड है, वहाँ भी हमने जीर्णोद्धार कराया है, सफाई का पूरा कुंड साफ कराया है।
Lord Krishna's place, Vrindavan, is also awaiting same momentous occasion.
Work on the new corridor is also on, and while participating in a sweeping program in Kaleram Mandir in Maharashtra, Prime Minister appealed the citizens to be a part of this cleanliness drive between 14th of Jan till 22nd of Jan, and we can see a clear difference here in Vrindavan Dham. With camera person Naveen, Ajay Mishra, DD India, Vrindavan Dham, Baake Bihari Temple.
In sports news, Indian teenager Pragyananda beat reigning world champion Ding Liren in a 4th round clash. Pragyananda leapfrogged over 5-time world champion Vishwanathan Anand as India's top-ranked chess player in the FIDE live ratings with a rating of 2,748.3. Vishwanathan Anand is currently at 2,748. Pragyananda also became the second Indian after Anand to defeat a reigning world champion in classical chess. The third and final T20 match between India and Afghanistan is currently underway at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. After opting to bat first, India faced early troubles with 4 wickets falling in the power play thanks to Farid Ahmed and Azmatullah Omarzai. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Virat Kohli and Sanju Samson went out early. After that, Captain Rohit Sharma and Rinku Singh rescued the Indian innings with a remarkable 190-run partnership. Rohit scored a brilliant 121 off 69 balls, hitting 11 fours and 8 sixes, while Rinku contributed with 69 of 39 balls. India posted a strong total of 212 for 4, staging a comeback from a difficult situation. Currently, Afghanistan are batting on 109 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in 13 overs. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India News Hour. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website, ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.